After weeks of speculations, the FIA finally confirmed on Monday that Aston Martin and Red Bull had breached F1's cost cap last year, but rather than this being the end of a process that's already been under the spotlight for a while, what happens next is potentially more intriguing as the governing body moves towards potential punishment. The matter looks almost certain to be drawn out, though F1's financial regulation is explicit in a formal process that needs to be gone through, plus the procedural breaches that Aston Martin and Red Bull have made will bring different sanctions compared to the minor overspend breach the Milton Keynes-based squad has also committed. First of all, an accepted breach agreement. That's the first avenue that will be open to the two teams, which is referred to as an ABA. This is where the teams accept that they have done wrong and agree to abide by certain actions that will be taken by the FIA's cost cap administration. To go through an ABA, the teams must acknowledge they broke the rules, accept and observe any sanctions handed out, and agree to bear costs and waive any rights they have to challenge the ABA. This can then lay out the obligations for the teams to fulfil, provide for the enhanced monitoring, impose financial penalties and certain minor sporting penalties, and set out costs that teams must face. As an enticement to go down the ABA route, teams that are deemed to be deserving of minor sporting penalties cannot lose Constructors' Championship points, Drivers' Championship points for a reduction in the cost caps, which are the options if they challenge the cost cap decision. This leaves them with only the possibility of a public reprimand, suspension from one or more of a competition, excluding the race, or limitations on aerodynamic or other testing. It could also go to a cost cap adjudication panel. If Aston Martin and Red Bull do not accept an ABA or the FIA deems that it's not an appropriate route to go down, then there will be a hearing of the cost cap adjudication panel. This will be made of 6 to 12 judges elected by the FIA General Assembly, who will then hear details of the cases, including representation from teams and any witnesses that are relevant to the matter. After the hearing, a verdict must be reached by a majority of judges on whether the party was guilty or not. In the event of a deadlock, the nominated president will be having the casting vote. The panel will then hand out any sanctions detailed in the rules. Should a guilty team not be happy with the outcome, a further appeal could be made in the FIA's own International Court of Appeal. The punishments. The financial rules are clear in terms of the potential sanctions that will be handed out for a breach of the rules. For procedural rules breaches, which can include late submissions, a failure to cooperate with the cost cap administration, or simply applying inaccurate information. The rules state that a financial penalty will be given out. The only exceptions is if there are sufficient mitigating factors that exist for there to be no further action, or if there are sufficient aggravating factors, in which case a minor sporting penalty in addition as well as the financial penalty could be given out. In terms of the minor overspend, which is classified as being less than 5% over the limit that Red Bull have found to have made, the cost cap panel can impose a financial penalty and or a minor sporting penalty. The rules lay down 6 options that classifies as a minor sporting penalties. These are a public reprimand, deduction of constructors or drivers' championship points, suspension for one or more stages of the competition, excluding the race, and limitations on aerodynamic or other testing, or a reduction of the cost cap. So yeah, that's just a brief kind of like video of where we are with the whole cost cap situation and what happens next. Now we know that Red Bull have officially broken the cap, as well as Aston Martin, but yeah, that kind of seems more procedural. So yeah, we'll just have to see where it goes in the coming weeks. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, there's what's comments, for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.